Boker Tov, the video is Leila Nishmas, Shmuel Bachman Chaim Tzvi Doiv. We were mentioning Avas Yisrael, love of Yisrael, loving every Jew, and it begins every single day. In fact, the Arizal says you shouldn't start davening without being mekabel on yourself Avas Yisrael, and that in itself shows you the power when there is that unification of the Jewish people. You come into shul, you have to work on Avas Yisrael. What's the problem? So always say from Rav Nachman, he used to say, define your terms. The problem is many times you say, okay, you got to do this, you got to do that, but we can't define it. Someone ask yourself, so what does it mean to love another Jew? What does it mean? So Rav Nachman, based on the Rambam discusses Ahavas Hashem and gives us a definition, beautiful definition. And in English, Rav Nachman coined this so beautifully and said, love is the emotional pleasure you experience when you focus on one's virtues. That means a person, there's two parts to love. And this applies to love between a husband and wife, between a husband and a kid, between a child and a kid, between friends, between us and the Rabbeinu Shalom. So when we speak about Avos Yisrael, we have to define it. So the first step is, the Rambam tells us, it's an emotional pleasure. It's something that we're supposed to feel. But how do we feel that? It's triggered by a focus. The focus that a person chooses to make, that means it's up to us. We look at a person coming to shul, we're going to look at a person and say, this is this person, this is how I define him. I define him by this nekuda. I therefore love him because of this nekuda. I'm using the definition of Avos Yisrael. That's number one. Number two, the Rambam says is that a person should treat someone else the way they treat themselves, which is based on the pasuk, of course, in Parshas Kedoshim. And that means, practically speaking, when you come into shul, if it's your house, would you leave a dirty cup of coffee on the floor? If it happened to be there. You're walking around the house, you're walking in, you see someone else's car and the window's open. You see someone else's tefillin and it's discarded. You see someone else's safe. Whatever you see of someone else, think to yourself, how would you treat it if it's yours? The experience, the Rambam says, just treat someone else and choose today. This is how we're going to work on it. Choose to treat someone else the way you would treat yourself. You know, the most amazing story someone sent me from Rav David Trank, was this nifter. I heard this from Rabbi Coren. Someone sent me. And it's incredible in so many ways. But the story of the Kitzur is that he was teaching in Philadelphia. I remember that yeshiva. I was there once for one night, many years ago. And I didn't make it more than one night, but I was there in Philadelphia. In Philadelphia, I don't know how many years ago, there was a student. This student, Friday night, stole Rav David Trank's car. The unimaginable. Anyway, he finds out that this bacha stole the car. Not only did he steal the car, he stole the car and he went to the movies. Imagine. It's a different world. Probably what happened there, but who knows? Anyway, he finds out, and the movies was a whole walk. It was a 9, a ganze mahalach, to be able to reach the movies without getting into the car. Didn't stop Rav David. He walked to the movies. He comes up to the movie theater. He says to the lady there, ma'am, I don't want to buy a ticket, but I want to say something to my friend inside. The lady says, no problem. Rav David walks in with his Shmona Begadim, the Shabbos Begadim. He looks around. Imagine there's this man with a beard looking around. Where's his friend? Where's his Talmud? Where's the student who stole his car Friday night? Finally, he locates him. He goes and he sits down next to him. And he whispers in his ear and he says, my dear Talmud, just want you to make sure you know, but the popcorn in this movie theater is not kosher. Ad kan dvarav. He gets up, is about to leave. Student grabs his hand and says, Rebbe, I'm coming home with you. On the way home, he tells his Rebbe, I swear, I've never been Mechal Shabbos. The student felt, and this is something, wow, so powerful, because so many times I have that just recently. A person had to come to camp because his child was being kicked out of camp for whatever reason. And he told me, he said, should I smack my child? Why should you smack your child? He said, because I want to teach him a lesson. But then he said to me, but it's also because I'm very angry. So many times we have to catch ourselves and first say to ourselves, make sure 100% before we do anything to anyone else, why am I doing this? It's because of me? Is it because I want to fix them? I want to help them? How would I treat myself? How would I want to be treated myself? I would love if I hurt someone, if I took someone's car Friday night, that they should understand, they should still care about me. They should know I'm in pain. They should know I don't really want to do this. That description of yourself is how we have to use it for others. And if we learn to review this in our heads, no matter what, we train ourselves to love other Jews, it will be a different world. Have an amazing day.